We've seen some crazy shit in the crypto markets over these last 24 hours, and I'm going to break all of this chaos down for you to really just help you understand exactly what's been going on here. Now, look, the first thing that we've done here is we've set a brand new 400-day high. This is absolutely huge. It's one of the best things that Bitcoin has done today. We've broken out of the channel, and we've seen a nice daily close above as well, which is absolutely beautiful. Take a look at this right here on the daily chart. Our daily candle is actually nearly as high as one of our previous wicks, and it is the highest daily close that Bitcoin has had. And you really have to zoom out for quite some time since June of last year. This is actually more than 400 days ago if we're measuring it by daily closes. Yeah, actually about the same time. So absolutely beautiful there. We are making very good progress. Nothing has changed, ladies and gents. You already know the deal. Your boy is still in his long trade, still sitting in absolutely beautiful profit up here at these highs. And what I'm seeing from now is the possibility to establish some support. I'm not going to talk about that right now. We're actually going to change over to XRP though, because this is what stole all the headlines. Judge rules XRP is not a security in SEC's case against Ripple. So the first thing I want to say is, I can't say it anymore. I'm being more sensible online. I was going to say something not so nice about the SEC. And the second thing I'm going to say is that the reason people really like this is because if XRP is not considered a security, it's not subject to as high of a degree of regulation, and less regulation means more money, basically, in a lot of cases. So everyone and then Nan is running around in circles over this, and obviously you've come to the 𝗬𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗟𝗏 channel, so you know I'm not going to clap for the XRP seals. I'm going to laugh at them, because everybody is just absolutely just rubbing themselves off to a 2x on XRP, which by the way is now already down by 23% within a day, but I guess we won't focus on that too much. And you know, and this is after being absolutely fucking decimated, ladies and gents, against XRP and the dollar for so long. You know, I do want to put this in perspective for you all for just a minute here. This wick is making this chart really hard to analyze, but I will find it right here. In fact, let's just hang on, let's just do this. Yeah, there we go, problem solved. And so what I want to point out to you is that you know, we are, by the way, on the linear scale, I'm sorry, on the logarithmic scale. If we look at this on the linear scale, you can really start to see how pathetic all of this excitement for XRP is. This is the you know, kind of original chart, if you will. This is the real chart, and I mean, I can't really even fit where XRP is now compared to its 2017-2018 high. So you know, I'm moving away from insulting the idiots in this space, but you know, I think they insult themselves by being happy over this kind of price action. Look at where we are now, and look at the peak that XRP was at before. Even look at the peak of 2021. You know, getting excited over a 2x gain when the coin has already died. You know, I mean, from its all-time high, look at where it started the pump from. It was already down 86%, and now you're only down 80%. Good fucking job, bro. You know, like you can't make this stuff up. The way these people are getting excited over XRP right now is quite ridiculous. I got one more example I want to show you, because you already know the deal. This channel is all about bringing realism to the table and showing you why you shouldn't be excited over being a failure. Minus 76% if we measure it down to the low where this pump started and up to the current price, you're now down by minus 63%. Now let me put that in perspective for you with one more example. If you had $100 in at the top, you were down to $30, and now you're up to $34. 36, whatever, you know the deal. The math might not be right, but the point is very much there. And so that's the first thing I want to point out. That said, I do have some analysis to share with you on XRP. XRP has been in an ascending triangle for a minute here. It's actually a 92% range here from its low that it set in about June of last year. And we are now potentially getting ready to break above this ascending triangle. You can see that we've been tracing this support level beautifully over these months. And now we are starting to become a little bit more aggressive at the upside. See, previously we were only really testing support. Now we're only really testing resistance. So this is one of your signs that the kind of momentum is swinging to the upside here, and that is a 92% upside potential target, which actually puts XRP at a beautiful $1 area of resistance. And the reason that we really like these kind of numbers is because they're just psychologically charged. They are technically relevant, you know, and especially, you know, when you get to these round numbers, that's, you know, 55 cents, right? Like, we're getting these nice round, easy to digest numbers here, and that's why $1, you know, just kind of has a little bit of confluence influence just from that alone, but of course, if we do look at this chart and just kind of drop a horizontal line at the $1 level, we are going to see some historic significance around here as well. So obviously a little bit of consolidation here, some major support hits and some major rejections as well around this $1 area. So that's kind of the next target for XRP if things do continue to go according to plan for this coin. And of course, I do want to highlight to you the best opportunities to trade all of these markets are always going to be with the links in the description down below. And specifically for me right now, it is the top two. Bybit, you already know, has been my all-time favorite exchange since basically I started using them like 4 or 5 years ago now, I think. And they are offering you up to $30,000 of free trading capital. That means depending on what you deposit and trade with using my link right here, you are going to get up to $30,000 of additional free money to trade with, and any profits you generate using that cash are yours to keep. Absolutely killer offer right there. BingX as well with that top link. The reason BingX is just so far and above the others in the space is because you can trade stocks like Tesla and Apple and Amazon, Forex, indices, commodities, all with leverage just with Bitcoin. You don't deposit anything else. You can just deposit crypto, any crypto, but obviously Bitcoin's the main one, and without KYC. So great for people that are a little bit more privacy minded. These two are a killer combo to have in the space, but the other rewards are huge. OKX giving you up to 60k. Again, for these rewards, you just gotta deposit and start trading, and these guys are going to pay you fucking nicely for that. So definitely do take advantage of it. And of course, BingX for those traditional finance markets. Let's head on back over to the opportunities in the market, though. One of the ones that I want to highlight to you before we get back to Bitcoin in just a minute here is to do with Ethereum. Now, the reason Ethereum is interesting is because XRP got its bounce already. Bitcoin has also bounced in response to that, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. Ethereum has done well, don't get me wrong. It has also moved up, but it hasn't really broken its key area of resistance. This area of resistance for Ethereum is basically the same as kind of 30k for Bitcoin, in my opinion. And Bitcoin already broke that resistance. Bitcoin has been dancing above it for a number of weeks now. Ethereum is lagging behind by that very same metric, and the Ethereum Bitcoin price shows that to us as well. Despite Ethereum's strength, week over week, month over month, throughout this year, Ethereum has not been performing well against Bitcoin. If we take a look at the very start of 2023 and just put a vertical line right here, it has only been a downtrend for Ethereum this entire year. That is now 6-7 months we've been trending downwards basically for Ethereum against Bitcoin. But I've been maintaining for a while that that is going to change, and that Ethereum is probably going to start outperforming Bitcoin soon. And the reason I've been saying that is because Bitcoin has had a really nice uptrend, and the standard way this goes is that the big guy gets his sunshine first, and then all the little guys kind of eat the scraps, right? And the good news for these little guys is they're really fucking small, so the scraps go a long way. That's how I want you to kind of imagine this liquidity. The real big money went into, the indices, for example, first, and now into Bitcoin, the little guy compared to indices, and then into XRP, the very, very little guy. You know what I mean? Like, just if we're talking in relative terms, these other markets, if we line them up, are just exponentially bigger than each other, if we go one by one. And that's a really, really important thing to keep in mind, is that when the big markets make money, the small markets follow. And that's why we saw some really strong upside on XRP yesterday. And that's why I'm expecting more strong upside on Ethereum. We haven't quite seen this materialize yet, but Ethereum has a very bullish kind of posture and momentum in this market, I would say over these last couple of weeks and months. So I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing here. And I think that against Bitcoin, we could be looking at some more enjoyment. Now let's get back to Bitcoin, because I'm getting bored talking about altcoins, and I want to cover with you the real possibility of a breakout. So look, the first thing that we've got to point out is, we have done phenomenally well with our areas of support. Okay, I mean, one of the things that for me is really important is to kind of take a step back, and also, because maybe there's like 1% element of ego involved, but to just kind of step back and show myself where I was right. That's important, because you better believe I do that when I'm wrong. And it's important to do it in both ways, because that can help you validate your analysis in the future. You can have more informed analysis of the markets in the future if you are analyzing where things went right and wrong in the past or in the present, which is even better. So we have been intensely focused on the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud, and once again that proved to be a phenomenal decision. Obviously we know that we're not going to use the Ichimoku cloud when it's kind of choppy like this. We can a little bit, but it's not ideal. But when the Ichimoku cloud is big and profiled and just big, it's a lot more reliable a lot of the time. So we've been bouncing off this beautifully. It does continue to tell us the same story though. We are basically out of time. We've been finding support in this Ichimoku cloud now, going back for let me just measure this properly. Why can't I measure? One sec. Here we are, going back for about a week now. So it's definitely been a decent chunk of time here that we've been reliant on the Ichimoku cloud. And I mean, look, we set a new high, but obviously we've retraced down quite a bit now. If we're not able to hold this, I think we're basically out of time from this indicator's perspective. That's not necessarily a horrible thing, because daily EMA ribbon couldn't be better right now. It is just the most bullish posture, the most bullish kind of, I wouldn't say body language, but it's an indicator. It's the most bullish indicator language that I've really ever seen on the EMA ribbon. So I don't have any particularly huge worries about this, even if because a few days ago the market was looking like it was going to take a little dip down and then do something like this. Even if that still happens, and it still wouldn't throw me off, this is still a good place for Bitcoin to be in. But for me, yeah, it's the main thing that we've kind of already touched on, which is the idea of Bitcoin finding some kind of support around this range and then using that to bounce off. I'm actually curious to see if our fixed range volume point of control, what is this indicator even called? Fixed range volume profile shows us the same thing, and it more or less does. Basically right where we've bounced off is our point of control, this red line right here. So it's an incredibly reliable line, by the way. It's kind of like magic the way it works. The top line and the bottom line also obviously being quite important here, just kind of identifying to us what range we're playing with here. And it's very clear that this area being where the red line was, and by the way, let's see if the red line was in the same place a few hours ago, because that would be, yeah, the red line was more or less in exactly the same place, right? So if I just put a line there and now we bring the chart back to the present moment, the point of control hasn't changed, so you could have used this before. This is a tool that I've spoken about extensively inside of the 𝗬𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗧𝗓 Academy, and that you guys see me use all the time. Incredibly useful. If you do want to join the Academy, obviously you can follow these links in the description down below, or just these steps on screen right here. It's the same thing. It'll take you to the same place, which is in a direct chat with me. Okay, let's go back to the markets here. We did bounce off that point of control, which is beautiful. A lot of the time, that's all we need to do. So, job might be done here, but let me just break down why that's important. It's pretty clear that there were a lot of kind of reversals, support, resistance, whatever, around this particular price area right here at about $30,500, $30,600, whatever. And so that to me goes quite a long way in demonstrating how important that level is. And if we're kind of already above it and we're falling down onto it, that would be a sign to me that we're actually potentially going to use that and then kind of bounce off as support. So we've already started to do that. The bounce isn't huge. I'm not super impressed by it. If we fall below this line, then that would definitely erase a lot of this progress, and again, then all the eyes are going to be on the downside. But what I will say for now, since that hasn't happened yet, is that we've still done okay. I don't like how quick this dump has been, don't get me wrong, but this could have been all we needed to do to kind of flush out some of those longs and then just send the market a little bit higher. So I'm also not too upset by it, and it is something that I'm going to continue to keep an eye on here in this market. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, so we are just kind of back in this range. This is something that's really interesting that I do want to highlight to you, and it is the fact that we've also got this weekly Ichimoku resistance on this chart right here. Looking at this, there is a 25% move between where we are and getting up to roughly that kind of 39k area. And what's important to note about this is that we've been battling this resistance for some time. Usually when we can't look, this indicator is clearly offering resistance on the weekly time. First thing I want to say, not super reliable on the weekly time frame yet, but that might be changing because these markets are maturing and whatever. So I am being conscious of that. And the reason it wasn't particularly useful, I mean, look at how useful it was here. I mean, it kind of, it still did something, which to me is super, super impressive because it's such an irrelevant time frame for Bitcoin. But, the weekly time frame has become more relevant, as these months and years have gone on. When I started trading these crypto markets back in my day of 2017, if you looked at the weekly time frame, it would have been like looking at the monthly time frame now. It was, in very rare cases useful, but you would almost never consider it. And you would have no reason to. The trend was moving too quickly. But now these markets are a lot more mature. So we kind of have to change the way we're operating. And if you don't, you're fucked. There's no two ways about it. You have to be someone that adapts in these markets. If you're not comfortable doing that, if the idea of, constantly having to kind of like be on your toes and run around and change the way you think and so on is discomforting, which I totally understand, by the way, then this is not for you. So, and I'm the only guy that you'll be like fucking 20 minutes into my video and I'm the only guy that'll tell you to just, bro, just fucking keep what you have. Don't lose your money. Don't do anything stupid. One of the best things you can do as a trader is not trade, especially if you're not cut out for it. And if you don't like the idea of constantly having to adapt and learn and be a student of these markets every day, then you're going to have a really hard time. And you're actually going to end up giving your money to people like me. So, don't do that if you can avoid it, and make sure to trade sensibly. Obviously, if you do want to learn the way that I'm trading and all that stuff, then you can give your money to me in a much more practical way, because you actually learn something a lot more useful than just pissing yourself off with losses. So and that is something which a lot of our VIP members have actually mentioned before, is that a lot of them actually lost a lot of money before joining, which is standard because everyone loses a lot of money in these markets. But they're like, they would have lost so much more if they hadn't joined. And that to me is absolutely great to hear. So if we bring it back to the market here and cover some more of this analysis, this price jump here, I mean, we'd be at this resistance level and we would still be in the Ichimoku cloud. So to me, that is pretty good. It doesn't mean that we have to break out of the cloud to hit my target. So, whatever, do with that what you will. What I do want to point out is that we've dealt with this kind of thing before. We have broken weekly Ichimoku resistance in the past, and it did take a while a lot of the time. But if that's what we're looking at, then, and I know this is going to excite you guys, this is kind of my best case scenario as well. I can, like, if I really imagine it, I can taste the tears of the bears. If this actually does happen, which is that, Bitcoin's kind of shit period of time, for the rest of this year leading into the halving will, maybe look something. Let me just grab the ghost feed actually, which is that it will, is it ghost feed or bar pattern? I think it's bars pattern. Like it'll be, let me pick the right kind of price range. I'm thinking like something like this, like this is what Bitcoin could do for, kind of like the next 6 to 9 months, basically. Above this price range is something a little bit like this. And, I don't think that I'm saying anything particularly unreasonable. I don't think I'm saying anything particularly unrealistic. It would be super healthy. It would be very boring. It would certainly continue to serve as some sort of correction in my eyes if that were to happen. And I think that it really fits. I mean, how many people are expecting that? It's not something that I'm going to bet on. It's not something that I'm going to stand by as a prophecy right now. But I just want to put it on your radar because I think it's something that you probably haven't considered. And it just kind of sounds realistic to me. I mean, right now, I mean, granted, it's pretty easy to be bullish when we're at the top, but that's just how it feels to me. And I have been mentioning to you guys since 17K. That I certainly was expecting 30K, and that 40K was likely something that we could hit as well. And I've been saying that since the very bottom, and my analysis from that perspective has not changed. So that is absolutely great and very nice to see. And it looks like we're actually dumping below our line right now. Yeah, so that's not particularly great. I guess the final thing to cover on that note would be that, we do have support all the way down to 30K, but, if we start dropping back down there, like I said earlier, then we're basically just targeting the bottom of this range again, which is far from ideal. You know, but bottom line, as long as we don't kind of lose this area of support, we're still, you know, kind of good. We're still in the same kind of short-term range. You know, it would be nice to get out of it at some point, but you know, that's what we're at right now. One thing I do want to comment on is the dollar has died. You know, this kind of happened silently. You know, I actually forgot to even talk about it, but yeah, you know, the dollar has done exactly what I said it would do, albeit much faster. You know, I thought this would actually take potentially a couple more months, but you know, I was mentioning to you that the dollar was holding the same lows, but and I said this from way fucking back. I need you guys to tell me in the comments that you remember this. Just type in "I remember this," you know, because or say "I remember that," and you know, because I was so vocal about this. I wish there was a way to just like easily reference, because I'd be, you know, it'd be so easy to take credit for this stuff, but I was so vocal about like specifically prophesizing this exact chart movement, you know, where we're setting kind of lower highs, forming some sort of a descending triangle with the same support, you know, and it just collapsed a lot earlier than I thought it would. So, you know, the first thing I'm gonna say is this is quite fast, and, you know, don't be surprised by something like this to kind of put us back in the game. You know, certainly on the cards, you know, we have done very quick moves up as well, a good number of times, so it wouldn't be completely out of you know, character for the dollar to pull something like that right now. You know, but the other thing that I'll say about this is that this does mark losing a really important area of support. I mean, you know, the dollar hasn't actually been below this particular area on this chart for 450 days. So this really says something, I would say, you know, about where the dollar is. Obviously, gold has been doing pretty nicely in the wake of that, although not nearly as well as it should be doing. The breakout, when it happens, if it happens, because nothing is guaranteed, but the breakout for gold is really going to be something quite impressive to watch when it happens. And I'm very proud to now own physical gold as well, for the first time. So that is something that I am personally very excited for. And yeah, to kind of wrap this up, what I'm seeing here is, you know, look, if we still hold the range, we're still good. We've still got the EMA ribbon. There's still a lot going in Bitcoin's favor. I wish we would snap out of this shit and you know, kind of stop losing our current areas of support. But you know, that's just what we're dealing with right now. Yeah, this could turn into something quite different, to be honest, if we're not able to hold our areas of support. But we'll continue to see this. We'll watch how this develops, and you already know the deal. I'll be right back here with more videos for you all. So if you have enjoyed this one, you know what to do. Hit up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all of that beautiful stuff. Check out the links to the exchanges down here in the description. Down below, you've got over $100,000 in bonuses available right now. Again, BingX allows you to trade all of these traditional finance markets, including gold, including stocks, just with Bitcoin or any other crypto, and without KYC. So great for the privacy-minded individuals. And then Bybit, you're getting up to $30,000 in free cash, which is just fucking crazy. So go ahead and check that out if you are interested as well. You know, to be able to have that much free money credited into your account that you can trade with is quite beautiful. So definitely do take advantage of this while you can. Just again, to be super clear, you do have to make your first deposit and start trading in order to qualify for the bonus. But once you do that, you will get it. So very, very cool stuff. All right, guys, take it easy. Hope you've enjoyed this one. You know what to do if you have, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.